Okay, everybody, you've heard for the last few weeks that we're working on professional development for the staff starting next week. So what we've done is our team has gathered, created the boards, done a lot of work so that your teachers are Google ready, clever ready, and expectations for the district move forward with the textbooks. So what we're going to do here is just model what you're going to see for your staff next week. There's a few tweaks because you're administrators, so you're going to get a little bit more information, but the presentation we do today is what you're going to see for the staff on Monday. We just wanted to give you a heads up to kind of process everything. You're not going to be able to play on the boards today, and I know that's something you might want to do, but there's a reason, and I'll explain at the end. But today is just a preview, so I'm going to hand it over to Regan and John. And then if you want, as you come up with questions, write it down, put it in the chat. We'll look over them, the team and I, as we're going through the presentations. But just save your questions to the end, and we'll get through this, okay? So thank you. Regan, it's yours if you're on.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Just gonna share my screen here. Whoops. Okay, so good morning. On Monday, after 5 o'clock, when we're done with all the faculty meetings, Miss Lynn is going to push out, actually before I begin, I need to say, I'm sorry, but I have tree trimming people in my neighborhood and my house. So if that's the noise that you're hearing in the background, so I apologize for that background noise if it gets too loud. So on Monday, Lynn will push out an email and a text message after 5 o'clock once we've went through all the faculty meetings with the clear directions and the expectations of the next 2 weeks for everyone involved. And in that email will be due dates that we're going to cover today. There'll be the videos that we call the prerequisites. So before you start any training, we recommend that you view the video that's included in the instructions. And it's just going to simply touch on how to log into Google Classroom, how to submit assignments in Google Classroom, how to link documents, how to submit documents, upload, things like that. Basic things that you need to do to be able to do the professional development. So we've included that before you even begin. And then we've told you that before you can even access the choice boards, you've got to join the appropriate classrooms. And for administrators, you're going to join 2 classrooms. Teachers will only join 1, but admin will join 2 because we designed a few boards specifically for you. So we wanted to have those in a separate classroom so just the administrators can have access to that. So we'll give you those codes in that email as well as the link to the choice boards. So I'm going to quickly walk you through what this looks like, and then John and I will model what it would look like if you were the participant actually doing the training. So in front of you is the admin slides. So this would be the link that you would receive if you're an administrator, and the first board is the instructions for you. And if you notice anything that's blue and underlined, that means it's hyperlinked. So it's hyperlinked to a video. So the first thing before you even begin is make sure that you are logged into your LPS account. And I know that I am because I have my R up here, which lets me know that I'm in my Lawton email. So just make sure that you're in your Lawton account. And then the next step is you're going to join the class, and you'll join the class. And when we release this, we'll have the code here so you can access that. Then you're going to go through the slides and just see everything that we've put together for you. And we've organized them and color-coded them for you. So if we look at after the instruction slide, you have blue slides, and those are all the Google slides. And the expectation of these next 2 weeks is that the teachers leave the district Google ready. And so what does Google ready look like? Well, it varies across the board. So you know if you don't have a Google Classroom, and you know if you don't know how to build that Google Classroom. So you need to take the courses that are going to get you ready to be Google ready in a sense of, do you have a classroom? Can you add assignments in there? Can you communicate with your kids? Can you grade them? That's what we're meaning by Google ready. So the next slides are all Google, so those are blue. Then we'll move into the next category, which is online tools and accessibility. And these are additional tools and resources that can enhance children's and your e-learning experience. So what else can you do to support e-learning or distance learning? And then the only thing that's required on the online tools and the accessibilities is Clever. So what is Clever and how do I log into Clever? And we put that on the board for you. And that is because as a district is moving forward, Clever is going to be our one-stop shop, like that one login where everything is housed. So we need to ensure that admin, teachers, all of us know how to use that. So that's what we're requiring as a non-negotiable. You'll also notice on each board that we've put the contact for that board. So if you look here, Doris is the contact for the online tools. So if you're working on the online tools board, you would reach out to Doris and she would be your support person. The Google Classroom was Lori Manning has one board, and then we have Chris Bird has another, and Talia Gilbert has another. So those are your contact people. We've included their email and their office hours. So when you're working and submitting things, if you're not doing it these times, then they're not going to give you immediate feedback or be available to support you. So just be mindful of that. So we have Google, we have online tools, accessibility, and then we come to your boards. So we created 3 specific boards for admin that as an administrator, there's certain things that you do that's different. So we tried to make it more aligned to your needs and what it is that you're working with. So these 3 boards are here for you to look at, select from, and see what it is that you need to be Google ready, to be technically ready for the beginning of the new school year. And then I know that board 11 right here, admin part 3, that's something specific that Miss Lynn has designed in hopes that all administrators can do. So make sure you're mindful of board 3. And if you need help with that, she's your contact and John's your contact for these other 2. Once you move past the online tools and the Google, then we move into what we call the category of curriculum. And within that, we have the SPED board. So this is what the directors from special ed asked that we include. So those special ed teachers would take these that pertain to them, what they need. And then we have for the EL teachers, for those teachers, you know, all of us that are supporting our EL learners, Mrs. Bond has come up with some lessons in here to participate with. Then we move into the textbooks. And the expectation is if you're a core teacher, then you need to be trained on your textbooks. Can you access your textbooks? Do you know how to get your students access to your textbooks? And can you use them? So that's what these trainings are for on the textbooks. And so all of secondary is after elementary down here. So we've titled middle school and high school. And I do just want to let you know that we did not, the focus of this professional development was to get everyone ready for distance learning. So when we leave for the summer, we could do distance learning if we're in the same position come August. So assessment and accountability, SEL, AP, those were specifically left out because that's not this focus right now. And we're going to address that later in the summer, but for right now, this is what our direction was to ensure that these were the expectations for the next 2 weeks. So what's going to happen now is John and I are just going to model. So what it's going to look like when you actually get in here and start working through them.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. We're going to show you how to get busy and get started on your assignments. I'm going to share my screen. So the very first thing that you are going to have to do, we've got our choice boards over here. They've all got hyperlinks on these so that when you click them, they will show you a link and you'll just go to it. But you can't go to those links until you join a Google Classroom. So you're going to head to classroom.google.com, and I'm going to move that out of the way. And you're going to go up to the top right. I know a lot of us have not been students in Google Classroom before. Things look a little bit different. And we are going to join a class. Now the code I'm entering is for the admin classroom. You do not have it yet, but you will be given it. Let's join it. And on this stream, you can see all of these assignments. Do not be intimidated by how this looks. The easiest way to get around is by using the choice boards. So we're going to go back to our choice boards right quick, and we're going to pick a topic real quick. We're going to go with this one. We're going to click on this one. We have to click on it. If you mouse over it, it will not show you the link. Make sure that you click on it and then click on the link. And it takes us directly to the assignment from the choice board. Now we've got 2 videos on this, and there's a bunch of this that I need to explain. But first off, if you'll notice, these videos are very, very short. They're super short. We tried to keep all of our videos and materials beneath 5 minutes if we could. That way, nobody is having to watch the same 20-minute video to find a little tiny thing that they need to know. So up here you have your assignment details, share with others, and drive stock sheets and slides. You've got your instructions. We're going to watch the video, and then using the Your Work section of this assignment, create and submit a document describing ways Google Drive might be helpful. Underneath it, we've got our 2 videos. Right here, we've got our rubric. We made a rubric for every single one of these assignments to score you guys so that you guys know how you did. If you can do it on your own, you meet objective, you get 4 points. If you can do it with help, you are approaching objective and you get 2. And if you cannot do it at all, you get 0 points. Now, the nice thing about this is you'll have all the time you need to practice this. You'll be able to talk to us personally. You'll be able to get help if you need it. But more importantly, this gives us a way to tell where everybody is technologically speaking. So we've got our rubric down here. We've got class comments. Now these class comments down here at the bottom in the middle, they're all public. If you put a class comment on there, everybody in class is going to be able to see it. And that's fine if that's what you want. But if you are looking for one-on-one help, I need you to come over here to private comments. This will only send a private comment to the person running your board. The only people who will be able to see you asking for help if you need it, if you use a private comment, are the people running the board. So if you're a little nervous about asking for help, please do not hesitate to use the private comment system. Now, the most important part is up here in the top right where it says your work. Now, your work is where we are going to turn in everything that we create. Every assignment is going to work this way. Everything that you have to upload to us in order to get credit for the training, you will create and add in the Your Work section. So let's look at our instructions again real quick. It says, using the Your Work section of this assignment, create and submit a document describing ways Google Drive might be helpful. So I only need to create a document describing ways that I could use Google Drive in my day-to-day business. So I'm going to go to the Your Work section under Add or Create, and I am going to create a new document. All you have to do is look at the little drop-down menu. Once you click it, it will automatically create the document for you. And then you just click on it again to start adding things. Now, the instructions told me that all I had to do was tell them ways that I could use Drive, Doc, Sheets, and Slides. I'm not going to type anything out right now, but let's just assume that that says a whole bunch of really awesome, helpful things that I learned from the video. After I have typed in my response, there is a turn in button up in the top right next to share. Once you hit it, it will turn in your assignment for you. And you are done. Now, the only thing we're going to be waiting on for just a minute is, now that my assignment has been sent to the person running the board, she's going to score my rubric and send it back to me. And you will get an alert when your assignment has been sent back to you. You'll get an email, you'll get a notification that people have looked at it and scored it for you and that you're done. Now, if you did mess up while Ms. Regan is looking at the assignment, you can unsubmit if you feel like you want to edit it. In case you forgot something and you want to go back, you can unsubmit and then submit again. And I think I may have unsubmitted at a bad time. But anyway, the rubric is graded and you are done. All of the assignments are going to work this way. Once you figure this out, all of the choice boards should be really, really simple. Ms. Regan?
Yep, I'm sending it now.
Okay. Okay, and once you get your score back, you'll click on this right here to look at it. I got 4 points, despite the fact that I only typed in words, words, words. She's a very generous grader. And you're done. That's it. Everything is done for you. We have tried to make this as streamlined as possible. If you can master just turning in your assignments, everything should be great. We're hoping. We're optimistic. Thank you.
John, will you stop sharing your board real quick,
Yes.
and then we'll get over
There you go.
back to
So there is one more thing that I want to cover with you, and that is we have come up with some due dates, and this is just to allow all of us plenty of time to give appropriate feedback to all the teachers and admin. So if you notice right here on your board or on your screen that anything that's blue or your purple admin boards for secondary would be due May 20th. And then online tools and accessibility would do May 13th. And then anything that's related to curriculum for secondary would do May 15th. And again, these were just, we needed timelines to ensure that we're giving ourselves enough time to give one-on-one sessions and to provide feedback and to make it meaningful. And so this will be included in the email that will come out from Lynn on Monday. So you can have that reference. And also just be mindful that the rubrics, those scores are not going in a personnel file. Those scores are not, you know, those aren't going to be held against anybody. Those scores are to assist AJ and his team to ensure that they're getting the necessary support that they need. Or if it's the curriculum end, then I can support them on that. So just make sure that everyone, that's just a tool for us to figure out how we could communicate back and forth to let you know that, yes, you mastered that, you're good to go, you can keep moving. So don't internalize that, that rubric score.
And I'll use Miss Brenda as an example. We worked with her yesterday, and I gave her a 2, but that's because she had to call me and we had to walk through it together. She was able to do it, but it took assistance from me to make it happen. So then I could clear her assignment out, she could resubmit, and her score could change. So that's all of the process that will take place with these PD boards. But you know, that's what we're working on. Any other questions regarding that? I mean, that's pretty much what the presentation will be on Monday for your staff. And we showed the office hours, right, Regan? I'm sorry, I've just seen it a few times already. Okay.
Yes, every board has the board contact and then the office hours for that board
Okay.
alongside there.
And if you get me, it'll probably be 11 o'clock when you get a lot of dings on your
Right.
email.
For those of us like myself, so those hours may vary depending upon if we're in Zoom sessions, but you know, we'll for secondary, I mean, we'll make it work, but our office hours are there to provide support whenever.
Does anybody have any questions regarding that? I didn't see anything in the chat outright. So, I mean, once you get in there, I'm sure you'll have some questions, and that's completely perfect. So,
Lynn, one thing, you might go over one more time how to get to the boards, just so they hear that a second time.
okay, and the boards too will be, the link will be in an email so they can go back there, but Regan will have it, you know, once you share it, I'll let her show where you can go to see that. We'll try to make it as simple as possible for everybody to access.
Okay, so when you get the email on Monday, that email will have the link in it to these choice boards. And then prior to these choice boards being able to work for you, if you don't join the Google Classrooms first, you won't have access to anything on these choice boards. So in that email, the choice boards or the classroom codes will be in there for you. So just like on this slide right here, the codes will be right here for you in that email. So you'll read your email and you'll see the codes. You'll join the Google Classrooms. When you join those Google Classrooms, then you click the link in your email and to these boards. and then the boards are live for you. You'll know that you haven't joined the classrooms if you try to click on a square and it says the class is not available. Then that will make you remember, oh my goodness, I've got to go join that Google Classroom first before I can have access to the boards. Is that what you were asking for?
Yes, I just thought maybe just a quick review on that, because
Oh,
there's
sure.
information, so I think that's good.
So when you go to join Google Classroom, as John said, here, John, you can share your screen.
Quick question. Do you have to join a Google Classroom for every board, or once you join once, are you able to get into any of those choice boards?
You only have to join it one time. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you'll just go to googleclassroom.com and you can see I'm already in the class, but up in the top right, there's a plus button. You'll just hit that and enter your code and it will let you join the class. Simple as that. We're hoping.
And we'll also put a link to the boards in the class stream. So that way, digging through your emails won't be a pain. It'll just all be in one spot.
And I saw that Mrs. Oates asked if there's a required limit. So
Good question.
Yes, that's a good question. So we go back to the expectation, and the expectation that we've come up with. John, can you stop sharing for a second? So the expectation is that when we talk about it, is that everyone needs to be Google ready. So what does that look like for you? If you can walk away May 2nd and say that you are Google ready, then, and that means, do you have a Google Classroom working? Can you add students or admin? Can you add teachers or APs to your class? Can you share documents within that? Then are you able to do distance learning? Are you able to do your role in a distance? So can you sign documents with an electronic signature? Can you ensure that you can share files and folders that way? Can you Zoom? Can you use Google Meets? Those types of things. And then if you are a core instructional teacher, do you know how to access your book? And can you get your students access to that book? If you can do all of those things, then that means on May 22nd, you're ready to go. But the only non-negotiable is that you've got to take Clever, and then you've got to make sure that you're ready. So from a building perspective, you as the administrator would say, what is it that you want as far as Google ready goes? Because we put that expectation out there as far as what we feel that is. There's something more than comfort.
And here's what I can share, Miss Charlotte. For you and your staff, make sure you email them and tell them you need to be invited to their classroom. You need to see what they have set up to be prepared to start the school year. That's the accountability piece. If we don't have an accountability piece, then they're not going to do it. They're just going to say, yep, I'm ready. And we know come August, we're going to have to go backwards and help them. So when we have your staff meeting, and we can mention that too on Monday, that the accountability piece to ensure that you've done the proper PD for this is that you will all have to send your principal a link. You will have to ensure that your classroom is set up to start the school year by, creating your Clever accounts, because those are the pieces that we're going to check. You can't just go in there and say, I got it. We want to see that you do have it, and that includes the classroom setup. So, we have different tiers, and we don't want to mandate everybody take something when they're like, I've been using this, I know it. But if you can go in as an administrator and view it and see it firsthand that they've got their classroom set up and they know what they're talking about, then that's good. Oh, sorry, good. But that's what we're going to have to do for accountability. So that might be a little bit more work for you guys on the back end right now, but we'll have the summer to do all of that, and you have your APs that can help. So that's where we'll go. But the expectation is that everybody will be ready by the start of the school year.
Lynn, may I say something?
Of course, yes.
On mine, I'm using my personal computer. So if you're using your personal computer, you're gonna have to go and you just upload from the internet. It's called Adobe Acrobat DC software,
Yes.
because the district is
I'm
giving
going
it
to
to
put that in the instructions on the board. Yes, if you're using your personal stuff and you're an admin, you're trying to use Acrobat, we only put it on the school computers, but you can download a 30-day trial right now and make sure that you're doing that. And you're more than welcome to use your personal PC as long as you're logged into your LPS account. But when it comes to the admin boards, if there's a feature that's only paid from a school or from our funds, then it's only on your school device. So yes, that's a great point.
I also want to mention, since I'm on my personal computer, I had to go from my personal Google account over to the district Google account. And one of those panels shows you how to do that as well.
Right, and that's one of the prerequisites that we're putting in the instructions. Mm-hmm.
And if you if you are working on a personal computer and you're trying to get Adobe installed or having any kind of issues, the techs are there for help, no matter if it's a personal device or school device. We're here to help.
And the other thing that I'll mention, just so that we don't forget, is that every board does not have to be completed in its entirety. You just need to select from the options that will help you be better. So, you know, Google 1, 2, and 3 is not complete all the boards. It's pick what you need and go from there. That's why they're choice boards. So, and I'm just going to reach out to my team real quick because they've been on these calls as well. So Lori, Chris, Dalia, Doris, John, AJ, if there's anything I'm leaving out that we need to share, please do jump in. We just want to make sure everybody is set up and at least understands the process for next.
And one more thing, I also had to buy Google Classroom. Well, it's free, but I had to go and put that on my personal computer as well. Yeah.
Okay, any questions, you guys? You're so quiet.
So Lynn, I'm just going to show the instruction board again, just so, because we keep getting some concerns. So in the email, it's going to go more in depth, and in the email is going to be one video that gives you all the prerequisites. So how to log in, how to do an assignment, how to upload documents and things like this. On the instruction slide here in the choice boards, it's telling you, so if you click on this logged in under your LPS, it's going to show you a video how to switch from your personal to your LPS. It's also going to walk you through here how to join the class. Then if you're going to click, so it says click on the square and the link. So as we said, if you hover over, it's not going to work. If you click on it, you have to click on that link for it to open. So we put that in the instructions as well. And then we also said you may choose to complete the board in its entirety or simply one square on that board. So just remembering that it's what you feel that you need to have to do, or as the administrator, if you're telling them there's something specific that you want them to do, advise them to do that. But you've got it in two places. So in the email as well as what's on the board for those instructions. Just biggest thing is make sure you join Google Classroom first.
Okay. Pending no other questions, thank you guys for your time. I hope you're just as excited as we are. We've been having fun with these boards and putting them together. And as we get more questions on other items, we know we're going to add to this. This will be something we use for PD for a while. It's not just these 2 weeks and we're done with it. New way of PD for you guys.
Hey, Lynn.
Yes, sir.
For those of us who have support people like Julie and Vanessa, who, if we are having to do stuff through our office, are we going to be able to do some training for them?
100%.
If we have to use Google Classroom with them?
100%. And, you know, we have talked about that. We have our so thank you, Mr. Mattingly. That's a great question that we didn't talk about. Parapros, teacher assistants, you know, we have support personnel that are, you know, our secretaries. We want them to be able to communicate with our certified staff the same way that you guys are communicating with each other. So we want them to have that training and know that they have the ability. They're on contract until the 22nd, most of them. So, and our new hires, anybody you are hiring right now, you can get them, as long as AJ has them set up, which his team is going quickly because we know that we want them to have the training as well. You can include them. We're not putting them in the certified meeting because we didn't want it to be so big and inundated, but if we need to get your support staff in the training, let us know. They have access to, we can tweak it to where they understand. A lot of it is for curriculum and some of them won't be, but your paras might be. So just let us know. I know that is something we discuss, and we do have the ability to train them as well. We just didn't include them in the staff meeting.
So you're saying let you know if we want them in this training or in a training at some point?
I'm saying they just weren't in the meeting. We can include them in the training.
In what you're doing now?
Right. This is the meeting.
Okay.
Right. We talked about that, especially for federal programs. They have a lot of paras and tutors, and they want them to get the training as well, especially when it comes to the curriculum. And we had already pushed out the meeting to your certified. We just didn't want to overwhelm by adding your support staff as well. So if that's something you want to do, you can share this information with them in your own meeting after you've had the training and you're comfortable with your support staff. So it is not a problem to include them starting next week at all. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything.
And I guess just reiterate too, that even after May 22nd, that it'd still be available. So if we're getting ready to prep for school and they forgot something, they can always go back to the classrooms and have access to all of this. So we're building it to be, longevity wise, to continuously use. So it's there for them.
And if your new hires aren't here yet, but they have an email, they can do it from wherever they're at. So they do not have to be here. They can go online and use their LPS account and get the training and be ready for you as well. And if you have any questions after we get off this meeting, because that's usually what happens, we think of things too after we're done. You have all our contact information, phone numbers, anything else. So
yes, yeah. Please remember to send out the invites to the tech team. If you haven't invited us to the faculty meetings on Monday, please do so, because I know I haven't received invites yet. So please just make sure, check who you're supposed to be inviting for that team to come to your faculty meeting, so we can get that on our calendars and we don't miss your schools.
Also, if you have one of the new teacher laptops and you do not have a webcam and you didn't get an email from me yesterday or the day before saying that we have them at the Media Center, email me and I will get you the form and we will get you a webcam. And I'm sorry.
Okay, Miss Teresa, if there's nothing else, we're gonna let you guys have your meeting back. Thank you for letting us crash the party.
Hey, we're glad to have you. Secondary principals, you might want to stay on for just a moment after everyone gets off, or high school principals, actually. Middle school, you can go unless you want to stay on, but I just need to talk to you for a minute.
And P.S. I have you guys on here, the administrators. I'm working on your push out for the pickup signs, like pickup times. So that's working in the background right now. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.